All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Food for Health. Coach Nate here. January the 15th, already halfway through the month. January 15th, 2022. I appreciate you all coming in today. I hope you're all having an awesome day, an awesome weekend. We're doing the stream just a little bit early, but as I said on Wednesday, it could be on Sunday, could be on Friday. We're doing it on a Saturday morning here. Again, thank you so much for joining me nice and early. 6:54 a.m. to be exact right now, where I am, Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, everyone who's joining me nice and early. I see Adele family. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Adele. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Toom, great to see you in chat again. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Very exciting topic, something I'm very, very interested in, something that I think is going to break down our normal discussion of nutrition, but take it a step further into discussing what optimal health actually means. Because remember, obviously nutrition is very, very important, but there's more to nutrition than, more to nutrition, more to life when it comes to optimizing and maximizing our health. Okay, nutrition is a big part of it, and we're going to get into a lot of this nutrition discussion, just like we always do. But I really, truly believe in 2022, if we want to optimize our health, there's going to be a lot more going into it than just our nutrition. So let's have a discussion on how we can optimize our health and just exactly what optimal health means. Hi, Toom. Good to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Great to have you in chat as always. Look forward to engaging with you today. We're starting a little bit earlier, and that's on my end. I have a couple things to do this morning, but as always, it's really, really important for me to get these streams up, to have our live streams and engage with each other. So if I have to start a little bit earlier, get up a little bit earlier on a Saturday morning, I'm all for that. So I'm telling you guys right now, especially everything that's going on in life, our day-to-day, some stressors that are out there, things that are constantly being pushed on us, things that are on our minds, it's important that we're relying, or at least focusing on optimizing our overall health. And when we talk about optimizing our overall health, sometimes you'll see the 4 pillars, sometimes you'll see 5 pillars. I'm going to break it down where I think there's even a few extra ones thrown in there. Things that we really need to focus on, and habits that we need to start building. So I think the habits is a good place to start. Just like nutrition, just like when I talk about fitness, just when I talk about sleep, it's the habit building that's really going to be the important thing and enforce optimal health. Because if we don't have the habits, then, we're sort of floundering about kind of, trying to accomplish what we want to accomplish. But if the habit of going to the gym or getting our 150 minutes of movement in a week, getting some cardio in, aerobic, anaerobic, so resistance training in, I think is important for us. Now, the other important thing, building habits for optimal health. That can be in terms of nutrition. That can be in terms of our fitness levels, of sleep, of being social, of cutting out bad habits in our, day-to-day life. Whether that be if we're, consuming alcohol too much, or if we're smoking, things of that nature, or even going as far as saying if we're having a poor sort of social engagement with individuals. We're human beings, guys, right? So we need a good social balance. We need to see people. We need to talk to people. I think that's vital for us to optimize our health. So a lot coming at you right at the beginning here, but I just want you guys to get a good breakdown what's going on in my mind, because these are my own philosophical ideas on what optimal health is and what it really means. So I think an important breakdown is essential to start off this stream. Again, if you guys have any questions related to nutrition, related to fitness, please ask those questions. But it's great to see some familiar faces in chat here already, and I have to thank you guys for your nice comments in chat. So let me know where you're listening from. Let me know, what time it is there. I'd love to know if you're up nice and early just like I am. It's always great to know where you guys are listening from and getting feedback and answering your questions as well. Okay, but just know when it comes to optimal health, Habits are a big thing, all right? We want the habits so that we're focusing on the process, because the process, all right, is to attain the best possible health outcome, all right? And the process is going to be what determines our outcomes, all right? So when we talk about optimal health, all right, we can talk about preventative measures, living a nice, healthy, all right, life that's filled with important habits to attain the best possible health outcome. Okay, does that mean that we're always going to be optimizing and maximizing our health or be at optimal health? No, it's kind of an increasing sort of step by step, all right, climbing the ladder sort of metaphor that I like to use. We're constantly climbing, constantly trying to reach the top, all right? If we get there, some of us do, some of us don't, all right? But it's that promoting the important processes to get the outcomes that we want, all right? The outcome is the best possible health for us, all right? That's the outcome, all right? And the best optimal health for us can mean a bunch of different things, all right? We want to reach our genetic potential, okay? So I think that's important to kind of lay out here. I love preventative measures, as you guys know. All right, that's like when I talk about the immune system, you know, taking your vitamin D3, taking your vitamin K2, iron, all right, vitamins and minerals, getting good sleep, getting great nutrition, so loaded with vegetables, getting some exercise in. I think that's all nice preventative measures. All right, those are our processes for optimizing our health. Think about it like this, guys. If we want to optimize our health, we can take a preventative focus, just like on the things that I just kind of went over, not over drinking, not smoking, having good nutrition, being at a healthy weight, getting good sleep. I think those are all important. We take those, right, preventative measures, right, again, to attain the best possible health outcomes for ourselves, all right? We take care of the process, the outcomes will occur, right? And we want to promote healthy behaviors, all right? And those healthy behaviors, all right, can limit, all right, the risk factors, all right, and limit certain diseases, all right, regardless of what our health status is currently. Say that maybe we're dealing with being overweight or maybe obesity or anything like that. It does not matter. We can still take the sort of processes, all right, and still try to optimize our overall health. It does not matter if let's take obesity again as our example. It doesn't matter if we're 100% fit. Let's take our BMI. If we're at a healthy BMI, does not matter if we're at a healthy BMI or we're extremely obese. We want to focus on the processes, all right, sort of those pillars of optimal health, because if we're focusing on that, that's going to lead us to the outcome, all right, again, the outcome of promoting healthy behaviors, all right, and limiting our risk of certain diseases, all right, again, regardless of what our current health status is. It's the processes, it's the behaviors that are important. So I thought I'd just kind of sum up a little bit of you know, what I see as optimal health. Again, yes, it includes nutrition. We need our vegetables. We need, you know, if we're on a well-balanced diet, we need good proteins. We need carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates, healthy fats, fiber, micronutrients, right? Making sure we're getting antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, all of that important stuff, right? But for optimal health, it goes beyond that. Okay, hopefully that sort of makes sense with you, and you can sort of relate to that on a level. So again, let me know in chat any questions you have for optimal health. Yannick, great to see you this morning. Morning to you. A blasting cold from Boston. You know what, Yannick? Where I am right now, we're at -20. Not sure, sorry. We're in Celsius. I'm not sure what that's in Fahrenheit, but if you can look it up, we are super cold right now here up in Canada. -19 here in Canada. That's Celsius. I know I believe in the United States Fahrenheit, but -20. That's our coldest. Believe it's the coldest day of the year for us right now. So super cold. I can relate, Yannick. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining. So optimal health, guys, that's our discussion for today. Of course, nutrition discussion, but we're going to take it one step further in optimizing our overall health. And now, why is it so important to focus on optimal health? I mean, you see that all the time. Individuals talk about optimizing our health or having optimal health. You can see, at least I see it on a daily basis in kind of researching, or even, if we're watching certain YouTube videos, sometimes you'll get them up and recommended, take this for optimal health, do this for optimal health. But it's so important that we know exactly what optimal health is, and it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. All right, but I believe the processes can work for everyone and anyone. Okay, again, why is it a little bit different? Well, it depends what our current health status is, but I truly believe if you're focusing on the processes, then those health outcomes for optimal health will take care of themselves. We have to have the processes, and when I say processes, all I'm talking about is promoting healthy behaviors. Again, not merely in the absence of disease, it does not matter what your current health status is. Yes, how to optimize our health. Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing today, Yannick. All right, how to optimize our health. The first thing that we can talk about, all right, of course, is nutrition. Okay, we have to talk about nutrition if we want to talk about optimizing our overall health. Okay, so if you're just coming in, anyone who's just coming into the chat right now, just to stress again, all right, optimal health, basically, all right, taking a preventative approach to attain the best possible health outcome for ourselves, living up to our potential, living up to our health potential, all right? And we do that by promoting certain healthy behaviors, and not only promoting it, but building certain health behaviors that become habits for us to attain, all right, the best health that we can. Optimal health, we can call it optimal health there. Good morning, Sweet Cakes. Great to see you in chat as always. From California, nice and early, Sweet Cakes. Jeez. 4 a.m. there, I believe, for you. Mary, good to see you. Good morning to you, Mary. Great to see you in chat as always. Big shout out to our member, Mary. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone. But big shout out to you, Mary, for hitting that membership, hitting that join button, becoming a member of the Fit team. So thank you, Mary. It's great to see you in chat and to be able to talk to you live. So thank you so much for coming in, guys. I know this is sort of a topic that can be broad in nature, but as one of my goals for the channel is to make 2022 the best year, all right, and one of the healthiest years that we possibly can. Now, if we want to make it one of the healthiest years, again, we can't focus solely on nutrition, because just like everything that I've talked about before, whether it be adding certain foods to your diet like it was for fatty liver disease, right? Let's say we're talking about adding in those leafy green vegetables or foods that are high in vitamin E, or even supplementing with vitamin E. Right? If we're doing that, but we're obese or extremely obese, whatever title you want to give it, again, it's not judgmental. That's just how it's broken down. Even if we're adding in all those foods, but we're still, not getting any exercise, living a sedentary lifestyle, all right, we're obese. We can add all those foods in, but it's going to have little to no effect on being healthy, and in that case, right, little to no effect on reversing or reducing the risk of fatty liver disease. It's the exact same with optimizing our overall health. All right, we need those good habits. So the first one, all right, if we want to optimize our overall health, then we have to make sure that we have proper nutrition. Now again, proper nutrition can be a little bit different for everyone. All right, it depends what diet we're following. All right, it depends what our macronutrient needs are. If we're dealing with any, health issues, right, and things of that nature, of course, that's going to change it just a little bit. But the basics remain the same. Right? One, we want to make sure that we're not eating in a calorie surplus, all right, when it comes to nutrition. If we're eating in a calorie surplus, then we're taking steps backwards away from optimal health. We're either eating at maintenance or eating in a deficit if we need to lose weight for optimal health. Because to optimize our health, all right, obesity puts us at risk for a number of different chronic diseases. All right, it puts us at risk, all right, for taking steps back, not aiming, all right, for the best possible outcomes for health. All right, it's actually putting us at risk for disease, heart disease, all right, metabolic syndrome, diabetes, all of those different things that are just off the charts right now. I don't have to give the numbers again, but when I always do, all right, it's surprising to a lot of people just how many individuals around the entire world, not just the US or in the Western part of the world, but across the world, how many people are dealing with obesity and the sort of consequences of that. Metabolic syndrome, diabetes, all of that stuff. As we know, it's going up and up every single year. All right, so an important thing, guys, make sure that we're focusing on nutrition. All right, make sure, one, that we're getting good micronutrients. All right, we need to focus on our vitamins and minerals. All right, phytonutrients are also very, very important. Antioxidants. All right, so to optimize our overall health, all right, we want to make sure that we're focusing on nutrition. One of the big things that I think, all right, for nutrition, if we're going to optimize our overall health, remember, these tips, all right, and for optimizing our health, all right, deal with mind and body as well. And nutrition can promote both of those, right? We see how certain foods, of course, can affect the body, help the body to strengthen. We talk about that a lot in our immune system discussions, right? But the other thing is it can affect the brain as well, whether it be mood, whether it be reducing Alzheimer's disease, increasing brain function, memory, all of those important things. We want a healthy diet that promotes not only feel-good signals to the brain, okay, but also sort of nourishes the brain and body as well, okay? So nutrition, super, super important, right? As I always say, there's no one best diet. Everyone will always ask me, I want to get on keto. I want to get on intermittent fasting. Those are all great diets. Right now I'm on keto, all right? Do you have to be on keto, though, to optimize your health? Absolutely not. And it sort of depends what works for you. As I always say, the best diet is the one that works for you and that you can maintain and that you're happy with. One that you can reach your goals with, and one that you can get all of your micronutrients in with. That's the important part of it, guys. All right, so any diet can work for you. Any diet can be used to maintain optimal health, okay? Sometimes, we'll call it fad diets, even though keto isn't really a fad diet. It's been around and repackaged for not only, the last 10 years, but for decades and even centuries. If you go back and look at the history of low-carb diets, it goes all the way back to 1870s. All right, as far back as that, with some of the first nutritional books that were coming out back then. But we need to make sure that our nutrition is on point, guys. That's one of the biggest things for us. If we're optimizing our health, we need to make sure that nutrition, all right, is optimized. And what I mean by that, what do I mean by making sure that nutrition, all right, that we're making sure that we're focusing on our nutrition, right? Just like the talks that we have, right? Making sure that we're not in a calorie surplus, because if we are, we're gaining weight. If we're gaining weight and we're obese, we're putting ourselves at risk of many different chronic diseases. Again, I don't like to get into the cancer topics, but again, if our nutrition is off, all right, we're increasing our risk for certain types of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, all right? The list goes on and on. Now, if we want to optimize nutrition, I think that some of the most important things, let's talk about two, because we don't want to overdo it. I think one of the most important things is making sure we get enough vegetables in our diet. I think that's an important one, guys. Focus on vegetables. Vegetables are key to optimizing your diet. And for the great thing with vegetables, and why I point that one out right off the bat, it works for any diet. It does not matter if you're following keto, vegan, all right? From one end of the spectrum to the other, we can be increasing our vegetable intake. All right, focus on vegetables this year, guys. Dark leafy green vegetables, all right? Bell peppers, it does not matter what it is, just as long as we're getting those vegetables in. All right, we want to shoot eventually for 3 to 6 servings, eventually maybe even 6 plus. All right, right now I'm getting in 6 plus. I've built it up over the years. It's not like I'm perfect. It took me time to build it up. It's been made a focus. Remember, we focus on the process and then the outcomes will take care of themselves. It's the good behaviors. The one thing that I do, so I'll give you guys a little bit of one tip that I do, maybe it'll kind of resonate with you. All right, right now at my lunch meal, I'm having about 12 cups, 10 to 12 cups of mixed greens. It has a little bit of spinach, could have some Swiss chard, arugula, a nice mix of a lot of different greens. Okay, and it's about 10 to 12. At first, that was very, very tough for me. That's a lot of greens at one time. Right now, we're 2 weeks into that. The habit has been built. If I don't get that, it feels weird to me. It feels like my diet is off. Why? Because I've built the habit. Every day between 12 and 2, we're getting in that big healthy salad with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of balsamic vinegar on it. All right, so kind of, good healthy fats with it, and then lower calorie. Okay, so it's building those habits, building the important processes to optimize our health. Doing that will take care of our health outcomes. But that's sort of one habit that I've built into my diet, and that's new for this year. I was not doing that last year. So build those habits, guys. Focus on vegetables. If you focus every day on at least getting, start small. Like I always say, 1% a day. Don't go for the home runs every single time, because it just comes harder and harder. All right, I was having salad. It's not like this is the first time I'm having spinach and, adding spinach to my diet, or Swiss chard, or romaine lettuce, and things of that nature. All right, it's not like this is my first time, exactly like Yannick is just saying. I was doing it in smoothie form before. All right, handfuls of kale and spinach being put into a smoothie. All right, literally handfuls into a big blender. All right, a Vitamix, so much that I'm pushing it down with my fist to make sure that it fits into there. All right, you can do it as a smoothie. I think that's a great way of doing it. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. I think if we just get it in, that's a great way to get it into our diet, and something that we can focus on a day-to-day basis. All right, let's say, all right, that 1% change. I know a lot of people who will have a smoothie but won't put any greens in it. Let's say 1% change, you add a small handful of spinach into your smoothie for the day. If you do that, that's a huge plus to optimizing your overall health, and it's not a huge thing that you can't maintain, all right, for the days to come. Mary, it's a very big salad, trust me. Yeah, it's a huge salad. I should take a picture. I have pictures of it. All right, currently at 4 cups of greens a day. I'll try to increase a little at a time. Yeah, Mary, and you know what? That's great. 4 cups of greens a day, that's great for you. If that works for you, that's tremendous, okay? Again, what I'm doing with my diet, all right, is kind of a personal approach. All right, so I'm getting about 10 cups of greens quite easily a day. The salad, the bowl has to be pretty big. Next, maybe what I'll do is I have the picture. Maybe I'll try uploading it to this computer, and then instead of this picture, I can just easily move it across, and you guys can actually see the salad. I should start getting into maybe the habit of putting up some of the foods that I eat on a day-to-day basis. That way you guys can see how I'm eating as well. Now, you're right. 4 cups, all right, seems like a lot. Mary, I bet for a week or 2 weeks, if you brought it up to 5, because again, we need small increases. We don't go for the home runs, 1%. I bet, Mary, if you went to 5 for the next week or 2 weeks, that would become your new habit. That would become easier and easier for you. It was for me. I did not start at 10 to 12. I was around what you were at, Mary, about 4 cups, maybe 5 cups. All right, but I really like the large salad. Being on keto, all right, and using a little bit of an intermittent fasting program right now, it helps for me to get in a lot of greens at one time. 1, it's going to fill me up. 2, it helps me to get my micronutrient needs. So that's why I kind of take that approach. There's no smoothies now in my diet. The reason why is no banana, the blueberries have to be limited. There's no oatmeal. You guys, if you're listening, to other chats, you guys know what I was having in my smoothie before. Whole banana, blueberries, oatmeal, things of that nature. Those are out the window. I need to get my micronutrients from different sources right now, and that's through a mixed green. It's kind of if you want to look up spring mix, That's what I'm having. And then to the spring mix, I'll add a little bit more spinach, probably about 4 cups. And if it's available, I'll add in some romaine lettuce. But build it up. I think to optimize health, guys, the first thing that we want to focus on is nutrition. And then part of nutrition, making sure we're getting in vegetables. If we can, Mary, you're doing a great job. 4 cups of greens a day. I mean, that's tremendous. That's that's a great serving. All right, that's a good serving, all right, for the day. But I bet you if you increase to 5 over the next week or 2 weeks, I think that would become quite easy for you. And you see, a little at a time, like you said, you nailed it, Mary. Try to increase a little bit at a time. And then, if you get to the 4, if you get to the 5, you're already doing a great job of getting in vegetables. So congratulations to you. And that's something that we can all think of. And Yannick, if you want to do it through smoothies, all right, you don't have to have it as a huge salad like I do. Again, I'm just letting you guys know my way of doing it. All right, just because my diet's going to be a little bit different from yours, smoothie form is 100% fine because that's what I had been doing for the previous 5 years. So smoothie form, right, you can put it into other different recipes. The way that we do it will depend on, our own diet, our own situation. So really focus on the vegetables, guys. That's the process, all right? The other important thing is we need to make sure that we're focusing on water. Vegetables and water. I know it sounds simple, but we need to make sure that we're getting enough water in, all right, to optimize our overall health. If we're chronically dehydrated, again, we're putting ourselves at risk for chronic disease, all right, many different chronic diseases. Our bodies need water. Now, how much water do we need? Again, that's going to depend on our lifestyle. If we're working out on a day-to-day basis, 5 days a week, then we're obviously going to need more water. But if we're shooting for that 3 to 6, I think 6 is a little bit on the high end. Unless you're training quite intense every single day, then 6 becomes necessary. But anywhere from 3 to 6 liters, all right, that's going to be one of the processes that's going to increase, that's going to help you to attain the best possible health outcome and continue to promote, all right, and build habits for healthy behaviors, guys. Healthy behaviors is key. Healthy behaviors is the key to optimizing our overall health. And again, that's whether you're just starting out on your health journey or you've been doing it for years and years. Angela, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining so early, Angela. I really appreciate it. Mary and Angela are 2 Fit Team members. Thank you so much, guys. Members of the channel, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And Angela, good morning to you. It's great to have you in here for our early morning chat today. Started a little bit early. And on a Saturday morning, I know we were off just a little bit, so I know some people, might not get that reminder. I tried to put it up nice and early last night. That way people had the reminder. I know some people, with the algorithm, it can be a little bit weird, aren't getting the reminders. So, that's okay. We'll take it as it is. The video will go up on the channel, but it's great to have you guys in here live because if you have any questions, just like Yannick, asking about, if smoothies are fine, I can answer those on a one-on-one basis as well. More than happy to. Our discussion is on optimal health, but if you want to ask some questions that you guys might be feeling the next day, if you might be feeling or something that you've been thinking about the last couple of days since our last chat, go ahead and ask that question. Yes, listening on my way to work. Well, thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate that. See, that's why I always love giving shout outs to, our members. Dedicated members listening even on your way to work on a Saturday morning. Angela, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mary, big shout out to you and everyone else in here. Toom, Mary, Sweet Cakes, Yannick, Angela, of course, ADL, sorry family. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. So focus on vegetables, guys, for our overall health. It can be any vegetable, does not matter. We're going to be getting our health benefits. The second one, water, making sure that we're trying to get that 3 to 6 liters. Again, 6 is the high end, all right? That's 1.5 gallons about, okay? So 4 liters is your gallon. All right, so try to focus on water intake. Again, the biggest thing is that we're building the habits for optimal health. Okay, promoting healthy behaviors. Water and vegetables, getting in your micronutrients are vital then for optimal health. Essential. All right, it's truly essential. The other things that I would put into that is making sure that you're eating a diet, one, that you're happy with and one that you can maintain. If not, then you're not going to be able to maintain the process. It's just you're going to feel too restricted. You're not going to be happy on that diet. And when I say diet, I don't necessarily mean eating foods where you're losing weight. All I mean are foods that are built in your day-to-day, sort of foods that you're eating on a day-to-day basis. That's what I mean by diet. Diet has sort of taken on this connotation where you're eating to lose weight. That's not what I'm talking about. Maybe if you're dealing with obesity or being overweight or anything like that, then we probably want to, be on a quote-unquote diet. All that really means is being in a calorie deficit. But when I say diet, all I mean is the foods that you're eating on a day-to-day basis. So diet has to be high in vegetables. Why? Great for our body, nourishes the body, nourishes the mind, and that's an important behavior because that's what optimal health is, promoting healthy behaviors to optimize our health, guys. What's the best diet for the winter season? Are you talking about maybe increasing your immune system, Yannick, for winter season, kind of cold and flu season, things of that nature? Maybe just let me know if that's what you mean. If that is, okay, if you're talking about the best diet for building up immunity, I think a diet, I think getting in proper micronutrients, vitamin D3, all right, vitamin K2, and you're going to get vitamin K2. You can supplement with this, guys. All right, use these as supplements. But if for vitamin K2, you can have fermented foods as well. All right, organ meats is the other one that's a little bit tougher for individuals to get in. All right, so fermented foods like sauerkraut, a nice easy way to get vitamin K2 into the diet. Remember, we have to differentiate between vitamin K2 and vitamin K1. Vitamin K, all right, cruciferous vegetables like your leafy greens. Vitamin K2, to think of them as totally different micronutrients. Vitamin K2 is going to be coming from your fermented foods or organ meats, but I always think the fermented foods are a little bit easier. I think that's one of the best things that you can eat in the winter. It's going to help keep your immunity strong. The other important micronutrient would be zinc. So foods that are high, you can supplement with a fish oil, all right? All right, that's going to be a nice one because you're going to get omega-3s as well. Okay, but supplementing with something like vitamin D3, foods that are high in K2, so fermented foods, and then foods that have good levels of zinc in them. And then, of course, you would also want your antioxidants, all right, and leafy green vegetables, Yannick. Okay, now the reason why we want antioxidants, that's going to help boost the immune system by reducing free radicals, oxidative stress, inflammation throughout the body, which is going to damage and compromise the immune system. So we want those healthy antioxidants, can come from berries, whatever it is, and then anti-inflammatories as well. One other thing I'll just say, Yannick, make sure that our fiber is high. All right, make sure our digestive system, all right, is healthy because, again, those correlate. Having a healthy digestive system correlates with having a strong immune system. Why? Because we're building good gut bacteria, probiotics, prebiotics. We want that good bacteria in our body. All right, not only for a healthy immune system, but healthy mind as well. That gut-mind connection. All right, we're seeing studies where that's tremendously important. Beef liver. Well, there you go. That's great, Yannick. Fermented foods, beef liver, things like that. You're going to be getting your vitamin K2. And vitamin K2, like I said, a little bit tougher. Sometimes you can even just supplement it. There's a lot of vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 supplements out there. The reason why they're so important is they have a really strong synergistic effect, all right, where they both enhance the health benefits, especially when it comes to the immune system. Okay, let me catch up here. Green smoothies and proper hydration changed my life. That's awesome, Gary. Congratulations. Exactly. Getting in your vegetables and proper hydration. Just doing that, all right, optimizes your health, can be a life changer. Congratulations to you, Gary. Good for you. That's very, very tough, especially with working with a bunch of different clients, right? Getting them to, one, have enough water into the diet, and then two, getting enough vegetables into the diet can be two of the hardest things. Sonia, happy Saturday, Sonia. Great to see you in chat. Again, another Fit Team member. It's great to have the Fit Team members in here. I'm so glad that you guys are getting into the chats and able to listen live. And if you have any questions, please feel free. But we had Mary, Angela, Sonia. You guys are all coming in strong, representing. Thank you so much. And like I said, one of the perks, big shout outs to our Fit Team members. Very, very much appreciate you guys clicking that join button and becoming members. Thank you so much. And like I said, I'm glad that you're in here. If you have any questions, guys, please feel free to ask. I decided to try cod liver oil for a while. That's great, Gary. Cod liver oil, very, very nice. I think, right up there with fish oil. Cod liver oil is one of those tried, tested, and true sort of supplements. One of the first supplements, to be quite honest. Same with wheatgrass. All right, one of the first sort of health supplements that really took off and is still popular to this day. Cod liver oil is great. A lot of health benefits for cod liver oil. I would recommend it to anyone looking to supplement and get omega-3s. All right, cod liver oil, fish oil, does not matter. Cod liver oil has sort of been pushed to the side over the last few years, I feel like. But cod liver oil, tremendous. Good for you, Gary. A lot of health benefits coming there. They fried though, not recommended. That's okay. You're on the right track there, Gary. All right. If it's fried that day, maybe one of the changes is you can just try not fried. All right. But you're on the right track there, and that's the important thing. You're setting up the processes to optimize your health. Because remember, it's all about healthy behaviors. It's all about healthy outcomes. Trying to limit disease. Again, the important thing that I want to let you guys know, it's more of a holistic preventative measure, and that's right up my alley. You guys hear every single time, and that's why I think it's important to discuss this. It's taking preventative measures, all right, to increase our overall health, right, to focus on attaining the best possible outcomes and promoting our health, okay? But we have to focus on the behaviors. If we don't focus on the process, the outcomes will never achieve the outcome. So it sounds like you guys are doing a great job of focusing on the processes, of focusing on the healthy behaviors. Now, we've talked a little bit about nutrition. Again, that has to be in there if we're talking about optimal health. All right, super, super important. All right, now one thing, fiber. I told you guys we need to focus on a little bit of fiber in our diets. 30-35 grams, that's usually what's recommended for most individuals for fiber. I think if you're focusing on your dark leafy green vegetables, I don't think you're going to have an issue getting your fiber. And if you're focusing on healthy complex carbohydrates, I think getting your fiber in can be quite easy. If you are having a tough time getting in fiber, which most people aren't, and if you're eating things like berries, which I always recommend. Again, this is coming from someone who's on keto. I have not given up berries. I think berries are tremendous because of all of their antioxidants, all of the micronutrients in them. I just make sure it fits into my net carbohydrates for the day. But blackberries, strawberries, and raspberries, those are the three that I'm focused on. I think if you're eating those, berries in general, apples, pears, things that are high in fiber, I don't think you'll have a tough time hitting your fiber goals for the day. 30-35 grams, usually recommended. Okay. Again, depending on your size, depending on your weight. All right. When I say size, I mean height. But if you have an apple, there's about 10% of your daily recommended value of fiber, sometimes even more. All right. It's the same thing if you have a pear, even a little bit more than 10%. So it can add up quite quickly. You pair that with broccoli, boom, you're probably around 20%, 25%, already at a quarter just by adding those two foods into your diet. If you have oatmeal, again, you're going to be up there near a third. So it can add up, and we need that healthy fiber because, one, to optimize our health, we want good gut health, so good bacteria in the gut. Again, that's healthy for our mind, it's healthy for our body. But the important thing is we're focusing on that process, guys, to optimize our health. So number one, nutrition it's a key pillar to optimizing our overall health, guys. Make sure our nutrition is on point. The other one with lastly, before we move on from nutrition, and again, if you guys have any questions, maybe something you're taking, maybe something you're eating right now, go ahead, please ask. I would love to answer one-on-one. I think that's, one of the benefits of having these live streams. But I think the other thing with nutrition is we're getting to a healthy weight. All right. Yes, BMI can help getting to a healthy BMI. Now, BMI, sometimes people will, not always look to BMI to see if they're at a healthy weight, just because BMI does not take into consideration how much muscle mass we have or how much even muscle, all right, that we have on our body. So if we have a little bit more muscle, again, our BMI is going to be exaggerated a little bit. It's going to be a little bit higher just because it does not take that into account. So just keep that in mind. But we want to shoot towards that healthy BMI, which I believe is 24. All right, 24 to 26. See, I'm not a huge follower of BMI just because it does not take into consideration the amount of muscle in our bodies, but I think it's around 24 to 26 as a healthy BMI. I've been eating plain oatmeal lately. Very nice. Notice nice changes, and absolutely, Gary, 100%. Oatmeal is one of the better, whole grains. That's definitely going to help with regularity. 100%. It's because it's so high in fiber, both soluble and insoluble, Gary. Like that, the fiber that we were just talking about. Plain oatmeal, that's how I was been doing it. I had both, cooked oatmeal and plain oatmeal in my smoothies. It does take a while to get used to. Sometimes people will have it in water, all right, and they'll just sort of add a little bit of oatmeal into water, shake that up, and just drink it, and then get their oatmeal that way. Angela, is too much fiber bad for you? I think, you know what, Angela, I would say this. Too much of a good thing can always be a bad thing. I don't think you have to overdo it on fiber. Too much fiber can lead to bloating, can lead to sort of stomach pain and things of that nature. So no, I don't think we need to overdo it on fiber. I think if you're getting your recommended daily value of fiber, I think that's great. All right, I think if you're getting plenty of it right now, then I would just stick with that. But I would be careful, don't overdo it on fiber. It's just like with other micronutrients. We don't have to overdo it on things like iron, zinc. All right, those are the ones that we would want to stay away from. Selenium, all right, is one that we would want to stay away from. That's why with Brazil nuts, people who are eating, 10 to 15 Brazil nuts, you are way over on your selenium. Remember, it's like 1 to 2. 1 to 3, but I stick to no more than 2 Brazil nuts, just because it's just so high in selenium. So too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, have the potential to be a bad thing for you. I think if you're getting in that 35 grams roughly, you're doing just fine. We don't have to overdo it on fiber. Overnight oats are good. Absolutely, Angela. Makes it nice and easy because then you can just wake up and you have your oatmeal. Here's what I'll say about overnight oats. Just make sure you're not going too high in carbohydrates. See if you can get some good protein out there into your overnight oats, and some good healthy fats. But overnight oats keeps it very simple for you in the morning, and you're getting oatmeal in there, which is always nice. You can add berries, which is very nice. So I think that's great, Angela. Just a lot of recipes, and working with a lot of clients, they'll have overnight oats. And when I'm looking through their diet, and we're looking at macronutrients, especially the people who count calories, sometimes you see their overnight oats, and you'll see that once they have that, they're at 120 carbs, sometimes 90 carbs. Right? So sometimes they can be very, very high in carbs. Just be careful with that. But Angela, I know you're probably doing a fine job of keeping those carbs in check. Just if you're having the overnight oats, make sure there's some good protein in there. Make sure there's some good healthy fats. If you can do that, you're going to be well on your way to having a nice healthy breakfast. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate it. So nutrition has to be out there, guys. All right. Nutrition has to be up there because if we're trying to get the best possible health outcomes, nutrition is one of the key processes to attaining that. And then building those habits for our nutrition, guys. I think starting off with high vegetables, all right, good water intake, fermented foods, good antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, I think is especially important. We have to have that. right? If we don't have that, we're taking steps away from optimal health. All right, so good nutrition, imperative for optimal health, guys. Perfect, Angela. Thank you for the question. You're right. Overnight oats are good. Just make sure you watch the macronutrients on them. But absolutely. I know a lot of people who have them. I help people build overnight sort of oats recipes. That way they're getting sort of nice macronutrients, not too much sugars in them. All right, that's great, Angela. Now, another one. All right, we have to talk about this. Another thing, when I say fermented foods, I always bring up sauerkraut. All right, but again, you can have things like kimchi, natto, or natto. Sometimes people will pronounce it different ways. Natto is great. Miso is great. Kombucha is great. All right, so those are some of the fermented foods that you can add. All right. Again, make sure you're getting it from a bunch of different sources, not just fermented foods, but have a bunch of different sources. All right, when it comes to vegetables, when it comes to fruit, all right, when it comes to whole grains, have some variety in there, guys. If not, we're just going to feel too restricted. Variety is key. Variety is important, all right, especially when it comes to healthy nutrition, because the more sort of different varieties, the more variety that we have in there, the more antioxidants, the more micronutrients that we're getting exposed to. Again, anthocyanin antioxidants, which I'm a big fan of. All right, quercetin, which I'm a huge fan of. All right, powerful, strong, potent antioxidants. All right, we want to make sure that we're getting those in as well. Yes, we can get polyphenols, flavonoids, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A. All right, but those unique antioxidants like quercetin, camphorol. All right, those type of antioxidants, which is going to have tremendous benefits for your overall health. So get a good variety, guys, and that's why I always will recommend berries. All right, berries, potent in those antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and anthocyanin antioxidants. All right, quercetin is something I take every day. It's in my vitamin C supplement. Again, one of the biggest things, and I think can work for you guys too, especially for optimal health, is boosting our immune system right now. That's why I supplement with vitamin C, a liquid vitamin C that has quercetin in it. I think is, one of the things that we can do for optimal health right now. And again, in the winter, to fight cold, flu, disease, we want a strong immune system. I would put that with vitamin D3, all right, vitamin D, vitamin K2, zinc, all right. Throw in your fermented foods as well, guys. Good gut bacteria with your probiotics, super important. All right. Lately, I've been eating spinach, carrots, green beans cooked together. Great fiber in that. Absolutely, great fiber in that. And zinc, absolutely, Angela. That's like your trifecta right there. All right, in our discussion, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and the mineral zinc. If you haven't listened to that chat, I think that was a very interesting one. I think people got a lot of value on that one. I know people were excited about that discussion when I put it up there, even before we started the stream, all right, the live chat. It already had something like 30 likes. I know people were very, very interested in that topic for immune boosting effects, for overall health effects. So absolutely, that's kind of your trifecta right there. Vitamin D, K2, and zinc. All right, very, very important for our overall health and immune boosting effects. Not to mention a bunch of other effects as well, but that talk was very much focused on immune system boosting. Sonia, would you suggest having like a quarter cup of sauerkraut and a probiotic supplement? You know what? I see no problem with that, Sonia. I take a probiotic supplement every day, and I have probably about, I don't even know. Sometimes I don't measure it, but it's at least a cup of sauerkraut every day. Now, why do I say that that's okay? Some people, again, I just talked about we don't want to overdo it. But a probiotic supplement might have, let's say, if you have a really good probiotic supplement, let's say billions and billions of good bacteria, healthy bacteria. Sometimes, let's say 100 billion. All right. Well, there's studies that are coming out that there's 100 trillion microorganisms in our gut, all right? Trillions of microorganisms. So by adding billions, all right, that's kind of a small little dent in there. It's important, but we need to make sure that we're getting good probiotics. In a quarter cup of sauerkraut, I think, Sonia, you can add that quite easily into your diet. A quarter cup is sort of a smaller serving of sauerkraut, which is just fine. The important thing is that you're getting it in. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having a quarter cup of sauerkraut and taking a probiotic supplement. Again, there's trillions of bacteria, all right, good bacteria, all right, bacteria in general, microorganisms, let's say, in the gut. So, getting that quarter cup, and you can keep it at a quarter cup. I'm not saying, even though it's a smaller side of a serving, the important thing is that you're getting in. The important thing is you're building the habit of getting fermented foods into the diet. So again, just on a personal level here, it's probably at least a cup of sauerkraut, all right, and a probiotic supplement for myself. And I haven't had any issues with that. I think I've only seen benefits from that. Again, we don't need to overdo it. It's not like, if you're taking a probiotic supplement, if it says take one. You really don't need to overdo it in that sense, all right? But I think having a little bit of fermented foods in your diet and a probiotic supplement, all right, I think you'll be just fine, especially with a quarter cup of sauerkraut, Sonia. I bought some pasteurized. Nice. That's the way to do it, Toom. Yes, unpasteurized. Sorry, I missed the pasteurized part there. You want to try to get unpasteurized as much as possible. Sometimes when you store-bought, you'll see pasteurized sometimes. It's really tough. You got to kind of look at that label, but I know what you mean, Toom. It can be tough to find when you buy it. A lot of that's why a lot of people will make their own sauerkraut, just for that reason. Look at all those colorful veggies. I can't take my eyes off them. Exactly, Gary. Me too. Me and you both. It's funny. Sometimes the reason why I missed the sometimes when I get behind on the comments, it's because I'm looking over at this other screen. If you guys saw when my face is on chat, or on the live stream, I'm constantly turning back and forth, is because I'm literally looking at my other monitor, which the picture is even bigger for me. So sometimes I'm just looking at that picture, looking at all the wonderful fruits and vegetables and foods that are on there. So, that's the variety that I'm talking about, guys. That's the variety that we want to talk about. I'm eating tahini plus oats now. That's awesome, Toom. Excellent. Very, very healthy. Tahini, that's great. Don't hear that a lot, but I think that's a nice, healthy food. Excellent. What do I think about protein powders? I used to take them, but I'm starting to think it's all hype. Whey protein powders will spike your insulin very high, so be careful. Okay, now that's interesting. I'll get right to your question, Mary. I see it right there, but just with the protein powders, okay? Personally, right now, if I'm taking a protein powder, now we'll hear information out there that whey protein will spike your insulin levels, all right? The reason why is because it's such a fast and quick digesting protein, all right? A lot of the times the people who are in keto camps or intermittent fasting camps will tell you don't take whey protein supplements or protein powders in general. The reason why is because they're very quick digesting and they're super lean. It's basically only protein. If you're going to take protein powder then and you're worried about insulin, all right, take it with a fat source. When I'm taking my protein right now, I'll take it with fish oil. Some people might argue that that's going to hurt the absorption of whey protein or protein powders. Protein powders are some of the most bioavailable proteins out there. Okay, so I would look at protein powders as eating food. All right, that's all it is. It's just a food supplement. Okay. And it's very bioavailable. The nice thing about a lot of protein powders as well, especially if it's like a whey protein, is you're getting a lot of BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, all right, which again is going to help with the absorption, all right, which we need, all right, and is good for energy as well. All right, you're going to be getting that in meat. So with whey protein powders, again, what Toom is bringing up, and he's not wrong, a lot of people will say, all right, especially in keto camps, all right, whey protein powders can spike your insulin, all right, just because it's very lean and fast absorbing. I think if you're going to do that and you're worried about that, I like whey protein. I'll be honest with you. I'm taking whey protein right now just because of my workout schedule. I think it's an easy way to get protein in there. I need a little bit more protein than the average person. Whey protein helps me with that, so I do take it. But right now I take it with my fish oil supplement. All right. I help stop, or I only take it in and around my workouts. All right. So if I do get a little bit of a glucose spike or insulin spike, then I'm not, then it's okay for me because it's going to help with my recovery in and around workouts. I think pick your battles. All right, pick your battles. All right, if we're talking about whey protein over sugar, it's the whey protein. All right, if we're talking about whey protein over simple carbohydrates, all right, get your protein powder in. All right, a lot of the times we can make things very complicated, right, when protein powders can be effective. Now, we just need a good protein powder, Gary. One that's not full of fillers or preservatives, because some protein powders out there, there was a study done, all right, now this was a little while ago, but they were using fillers, or actually wasn't as much protein in there as they were claiming to be. That's changed a little bit since that study came out, just because, the secret is out. Once the secret's out there, all right, things have to change, and then things change quite quickly. I think protein powders can be helpful if you're trying to reach a certain amount of protein and you're having trouble getting it, all right? But putting protein in smoothies and things like that is a nice way. Like I always say, you want a well-balanced smoothie. I think adding protein powder in there can do that for you. So hopefully that makes sense. But the reason why Toom says whey protein powders will spike insulin, a lot of the times you'll have people in keto camps saying because of its leanness, of its bioavailability, and how fast it's digested, it'll spike insulin levels. All right, Mary, let me get to your question here. Sorry. When looking for a prolific supplement, how can we tell if it's a quality one? All right. So a prolific. Sorry, I'm trying to understand the first part of the question, Mary. Well, the way that I would, if we're talking about supplements. Sorry, I wish I was reading that word, prolific. Let's talk about supplements, how we can tell if it's a quality one. I think the first thing you want to do, it's a little bit more expensive, but I think if you're trying to get good supplementation in there, I think it's important. Powders and liquids are always going to be your best bets. Tablets, the absorption rate is always going to be a little bit lower. All right. The other thing that you can do, Mary, all right, and it sounds simple. I know it might be, simplified advice here, all right, is one, you can always do a little bit of research and read reviews, all right? But I think the first thing that you should probably do is look at if it's powdered form or liquid form. I think that's the best thing that you can do because it's going to increase the absorption rate. Oh, probiotic. Okay, no problem. All right. So how can you tell if it's a good one? Well, the first one is, all right, look to see how much good bacteria is in there, all right? How much of the good bacteria is in there? We need to make sure that we're hitting a certain amount if it's a quality one, all right? If it's not quality, all right, it's going to be very low in actual good bacteria. The good ones tend to be a little bit more pricier, all right? But again, they can last, all right? They can last because all you usually need to do is take one probiotic a day. Okay, so it might be a little bit more on the expensive side when we compare it to things like vitamin D, even vitamin C, zinc, the ones that are more available to you. All right, a little bit more expensive, but I think the first thing that you want to look at, all right, if it's not telling you to keep it in the fridge, it's not a quality one. I've seen some out there, all right, that aren't telling you to keep it in the refrigerator. All right, we need to, that's an easy one right off the bat. Make sure that it's saying that. The other one is make sure that you're getting a good amount of actual good bacteria in there. All right, I think mine has something like 100 billion good bacteria in it. So it's somewhere around 100 billion, something like that. And again, I think the most important thing is you can ask around. Go to your health food store. Ask for their advice. Look at the reviews online. I think that's one of the most important things to find a good quality probiotic. I'm trying to look up the specific one that I take. That way I can let you know. All right, because we all know good bacteria. So I'd say a good one. All right, a good one. So a good one. A lot of the times, all right, the general recommendation, all right, for probiotic products, all right, is somewhere around 1 billion, having at least 1 billion, and usually it has much more than that, but your recommended dose would be at least 1 billion, Mary. Okay, and that's going to contain lactobacillus, all right, and bifidobacterium. All right, so I know those are long words. All right, I know it sounds very scientific, but if you see lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, all right, those are going to be the good bacteria that you're looking for. All right, making sure it contains those. A lot of the times you're going to have ones that contain more than 1 billion. All right, but your starting point is 1 billion. All right, good bacteria in it. All right, so a lot of times when you're trying to choose a probiotic supplement, you want one with at least 1 billion. A lot of times it's going to have much more than that, Mary. Okay. Beautiful background, love it. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate it. I thought it too. It caught my eye. I hope that helps answer your question, Mary. But again, needs to be refrigerated when open. All right, when we're using it, and at least 1 billion. All right, that's usually the recommended amount. And a lot of the times, a good probiotic supplement is going to have more than 1 billion, much more. And another good one is it's going to have good bacteria from a number of different bacteria sources. All right, it's not just those two that I mentioned. A lot of times you'll see a nice little list of bacteria on there. Okay, Angela, have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Back to work, no problem. Thank you again. Big shout out to Angela. Thank you so much for being a member of the channel. Appreciate having you in here. Thank you, Angela. Have a great day. Hope work goes well. Enjoy your Saturday. So I hope that helped answer your question, Mary. Tested my blood sugar 4.7, which is good. I think the okra I had for dinner lowered it. It's usually 5.2 fasted. Interesting. Okra is definitely very, very nice. Okra is great, high fiber, a lot of micronutrients. I have a good, in my personal opinion, a good video on okra that I did probably 5 or 6 years ago on okra, maybe all the way back in 2016, 2017. I remember it very fondly because I'm a fan of okra. All right. I remember it right after lemon peels. So I know I'm a fan of okra as well. All right. It was right after a lemon peel video, I believe, but there's a nice okra video on the channel if you want to watch a video on okra and learn more about it. Okay. But that's great. I think it can help with regulating blood sugar. I think its fiber levels are tremendous. All right. So very, very good. Diabetic. Okay. Too much kimchi. Exactly. So too much of a good thing too can be a bad thing. Kimchi, very high in probiotics. Again, we don't need to overdo it. And sometimes we can just have a different reaction to different foods. I'm the same thing if I eat, if it's too much broccoli or anything like that. Of course, too much sugar or too much sodium. All right. Again, those do not mix well. Now, we have nutrition. Awesome questions, guys. Thank you so much. And let's see if we'll get back to a little bit of our optimal health discussion. How can we increase our optimal health? We know nutrition is a big one. Everything that we've brought up, boom, nutrition covered. All right. The other thing that we need to make sure that we're focusing on, that we maybe don't talk enough about on our channel and on the live streams. You're very welcome, Angela. Take care. It's one thing that we might not talk about on our live streams, but if we want to. And the other thing, all right, mind and body, nutrition will help with that. Okay, guys, mind and body. The other important thing is that we need to make sure that we get in proper exercise. All right, movement. They both go hand in hand. If we want to optimize our health, then exercise is vital. It's essential. Remember, to optimize health, we're looking at promoting healthy behaviors. All right, healthy actions. All right, it's the process. All right, and again, optimal health only means, all right, we're aiming to attain the best possible outcomes, health outcomes for ourselves. To do that, exercise is one of the most important things that we can do. All right, if you listen to Dr. David Attia, all right, there's other people who will talk about that. All right, there's lots of studies out there. All right, I've read a bunch of studies. This is how I make a living, all right, with exercise and nutrition. So I've read tons of studies on the importance of exercise and consistent exercise. And that doesn't mean you have to go out and run for 45 minutes today or tomorrow. All it means is trying to get that 150 minutes a week. All right, that can be our starting point of low to moderate level intensity workouts. So if we're thinking 5 going all out, all right, we can't go any harder than that. We can be at a 2. And if we're trying to get 150 minutes per week, keeping it at a level 2 will optimize our health. Okay, level 2, another way of looking at that is you can do cardio. It can be going for a walk. All right, the pace, the intensity is something where you can hold a conversation with someone. But we need to make sure that we're getting in some movement, guys. Why? Because, all right, movement not only is going to help for nourishing the body and mind, all right, but it's also going to help us stay at a healthy weight, and it's going to help make sure that we're reducing our risk of cardiovascular disease. It's one of the best things that we can do for our overall health. All right, the process of exercising will help to increase, all right, the outcome for overall health. All right, and trying to stay away from disease and disease risk factors. Again, it doesn't matter what our starting point is. If we're not working out at all right, start small. All right, a lot of people will recommend, if you're not working out tomorrow start at 30 minutes. The next day, aim for 30 minutes every single day. Well, that's tough for a lot of people. I've worked with enough clients who are starting their journey with exercise. They're not going to do 30 minutes every single day, at least 95% of them. All right, 95% of individuals, if they're starting at zero exercise, aren't going to be sticking to a consistent and regular basis of 30 minutes of exercise a day. It's just not possible for them. All right, it's a huge change. It's too big of a change. All right, and it's putting too much pressure on yourself. I think you start small. If you're going to start anything, all right, start 10 minutes a day. All right, but I would just try to even get that frequency up to a couple times a week where you're hitting that 150. Even if you're hitting an hour a week to start, you can always build up. All right, always build up. You don't always want to start right at the very top, because then you're just setting yourself up for failure. Exercise can certainly help affect your microbiome too, 100%. There's been studies that show, and I've said this before in other chats, but it needs to be repeated. There's studies that show that getting exercise and the proper amount of exercise are at a decent intensity level, so moderate to low, like I said, where you're just going out for a walk and, eventually getting up to your 150 minutes a week, right, can be one of the best, if not the best things that you can do for your overall health. All right, so to optimize your health, how can we not have exercise or movement thrown in there? I truly believe that it has to be in there. That way we're optimizing our health. Like if you're looking at it on a scale of health optimization, let's call it, all right, it's going to 5x your health. All right, has the ability to 5x. There's nothing else that we can do, even if it's quitting smoking, adding more sleep, losing weight. where you're getting about a 3x, 3.5x on average. Exercise 5x, only because all of the health benefits that come from it, right? If we want to be healthy and optimize our overall health, exercise is super, super important. Again, from anything from microbiome to digestion to brain function. All right, we're finding out that exercise can help reduce the risk of things like Alzheimer's disease, dementia, obviously cardiovascular health. All right, reduce weight, keep ourselves healthy. It's unbelievable. Actually makes me smile. Is that weird? Well, a lot of people who are into bodybuilding and lifting weights, Gary, actually like that feeling. All right, DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness the next day. A lot of people are fans of that. I might be one of them. During it, maybe not so much, but after, absolutely. It's a good feeling, get a pump and then burn when you lift heavy. Yes, absolutely. And again, you don't have to necessarily, I know you guys are big into the weights, bodybuilding and things of that nature. Again, you can just get into simple resistance training. I always say people who are start with bands. All right, start with bands, resistance training. I'm going to write up a whole beginning resistance training that just includes a lot of bands. All right, can be some free weights and things like that. Then, you're good to go with that. It's just a little bit of resistance training. The Zamini, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Zamini, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, then thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. You're correct. 30 minutes is not easy. Absolutely. There's a couple of reasons why it's not easy. For one, going from 0 to 30, all right, that's a pretty daunting. It's a mindset for individuals going from 0 to 30 minutes. That can be tough, changing that mindset. The other thing is we need to make sure that we plan and set that time for us, all right, in our what's usually a busy schedule. All right, not only the 30 minutes of exercise, but the pre, all right, and the post, all right? So could be an hour in total that comes up getting that 30 minutes in. Well, a little one crawling on me while working out. Yes, exactly. New mom here with the little one crawling on me while working out. Good for you, Zamini, sorry. Working out, crawling, exactly. We're busy in life, all right? So sometimes life can get in the way. I think that's why we have to start slow, build the routine, optimizing health and living an optimal, having optimal well-being and optimal health or lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, right, is all about just promoting healthy behaviors, all right? It doesn't have to be, being 100% the best at everything, 100% all in on every single thing, nutrition, exercise. Start slow and build up. Remember, we said 1% change leads every single day. Small changes leads to 37 times better over a year. All right, so it really adds up. Oh, you're very welcome for the encouragement, the Zaminia. And again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for coming in. Slow and steady wins the race. Absolutely. Sonia, yes. Thank you, Sonia, for welcoming Zamini. Sonia, great. Sonia is our ambassador here on the channel. Thank you so much, Sonia. But I think when it comes to exercise, start slow, guys. But if we want to optimize our overall health, we have to have some exercise thrown in there just for its overall benefits. Even, with calories, helping us to maintain a healthy weight, all right, keeping metabolism healthy. Again, when we have a quarter percentage, so 25%, and that's 2 years old data, all right, I believe by 2030, you're going to have 33% or more of individuals around the world. We're not just talking US or Canada or Western world. We're talking the entire world dealing with some sort of heart-related issues, heart complications, heart disease, okay? If we want to reduce that, exercise is super important. Nutrition is super important. Obviously, optimizing optimal health, all right, is included in all of that. So trying to get that 150 minutes in. We also know that exercise is great for, all right, endorphins, All right. And also, we know it's great, like I mentioned before, with Alzheimer's disease and things of that nature. It's great for brain health, and it's also great for dealing with stress. That's why it's such an important, I believe, truly, right? It's such an important part of the process for optimal health. Okay, there's so much stress in the world. We live such it's a stressful lifestyle for a lot of people. All right, exercise is one of the best things for relieving stress. That endorphin release, feeling good. It's our time to get away, our time to ourselves and improve ourselves. All right, I use it as meditation, to be honest. If I'm doing cardio, it's almost my meditation time. It's like my own personal relaxation time, even though I'm not really relaxing, but it's my time away from the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day life, all right, all the distractions and all the stressors. So that's where exercise can really come in. Accrues over time. Valid point. Yes, absolutely. You know, it certainly does accrue over time. You're 100%, you know, it's 100% correct, Zamini. And that's one thing, like I said, my business, my way of making a living has to do with working out and nutrition. So, you know, it's important to know these things, and things that I speak about with clients, you know, certainly accrues over time. Rupal, great to see you in chat. Hi to you, Rupal. Thank you. Good health to all. Always a pleasure to see you in chat, Rupal. Thank you so much for joining us here nice and early on a Saturday. I know we have a new day today, but tomorrow won't work out, so I thought we'd get in here nice and early and make today, Saturday, work. So try to get that exercise in, guys. I believe that's an important and preventative thing that we can do to attain the best possible health outcome for ourselves. Okay, and helps promote healthy behaviors, all right, so that we can try to reduce the risk of developing disease, you know, bunch of different things, all right, having the best health outcomes possible and building up a habit that we can use for the rest of our life. That's only going to increase our overall health in general. Dr. Nate, I appreciate that, Rupal. Thank you so much. So, nutrition and exercise, guys. Optimal health, we need a combination of both. All right, again, we sometimes don't talk about fitness and things like that enough on the channel, but I think if we need to optimize health, all right, exercise 150 minutes a week, moderate to low intensity. Start it out slow. All right, we don't have to just shoot for 30 minutes a day. I think that's the wrong approach. You see so many people saying start with 30 minutes a day. One, that's going to take you over your 150 minutes, which isn't a bad thing. We can build up to that. Okay, I think that's going to bring you to about 210 minutes a day, or a week, sorry. So you're well over that 150 minutes. But we need to take a small approach, especially if you're taking zero. So if you're starting at zero and trying to build up to 150 minutes, all right, 30 minutes a day is a big jump, all right? And the bigger jump we make, the harder it is to land, all right? There's a metaphor for you. I don't always know how I come up with these metaphors, but, you know, sometimes they just come out. But take it slow, guys. Build it. You know, it can be one thing that I always like to point out, all right? If you're starting at zero right now, 150 minutes a week can be your goal 6 months down the road, all right? It doesn't have to be this week or next week, all right? You're building the habit for a healthy outcome. All right. You're building the habit for a healthy outcome. All right. You're creating the process. All right. It's that habit. It's the habitual, all right, nature of exercise, and creating that habit, creating the process of having that healthy outcome. It does not have to happen overnight or within a week or whatever it is. Think about it as, you know, a short-term goal, and short-term goal can be 3 to 6 months. All right, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Someone said that up there. Who was it? Gary. You're 100% right. So don't put that stress on yourself. All right, we need exercise to relieve stress. We want to relieve stress. I think that's another part of you know, optimal health. Reducing stress. Don't put the stress on you. All right, to one, change your diet. All right, start, you know, only clean eating, exercising every single day. If we're doing that, that's a lot of stress on us. And the more and more stress we feel and the harder it becomes, the less likely we are to maintain that process for healthy outcomes and to promote healthy behaviors and to stick to those healthy behaviors. It just becomes harder and harder. I like that. Creating a goal to meet 150 minutes in 6 months. I'm glad you like that. This is a mini. You know, when I talk to clients, everyone wants 150 minutes just because of all of the things that people are saying around them, or all of the, things that they hear around them, read around them. All right, 30 minutes a day. All of the advertisements talk about 30 minutes a day. All right, or, longer. Getting your workouts in every single day. My job is nutrition and fitness. I take days off. Now, on the days that I work out, it's quite long, but it's not every day. We need rest as well. I think that's optimal for health. All right, getting rest. That'll be our next thing. But yes, I 100% agree. Flyboy, great to see you in chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. A very important point to understand with turmeric is that naturally occurring molecules in turmeric actually help each other to absorb and metabolize. So in other words, turmeric by itself, with nothing added, absorbs quite well because of the synergism of the molecules contained within turmeric. A bit of misconception out there. It's important to remember, Flyboy, 100%. We don't always need to complicate things at a super high level. All right. So a lot of people will say, taking turmeric without, say, black pepper or without fats, because that helps with the absorption. All right. Taking is useless. There's no point of doing that because you're not getting the absorption of curcumin. Well, we know through studies and a bunch of different things like that, curcumin isn't the best sort of bioactive compound that's going to be absorbed. All right, it's a little bit tougher to absorb, but we know it's not useless. We know we're going to have some absorption. All right, I don't think that there's anything wrong with, and you're 100% right. There's, naturally occurring molecules in turmeric. It's bioactive, all right, molecules that are occurring in turmeric that are going to help with the absorption, but I don't think there's anything wrong with adding a little bit of black pepper to it or fats or anything like that. And a lot of the times you're going to have turmeric with some fat anyway. So it's a good point on turmeric, Flyboy. Turmeric, just, sometimes just getting that turmeric in is the important thing, building that habit up. To the gym 6 years, my first workout lasted 20 minutes and I was out of there. Yes. And there you are. You built it up. You built it up, Gary. And that's the important thing. And that's what I would recommend for anyone. Miki, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you appreciate the content. You're enjoying the content. Thank you. Kathleen, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining this morning. I really appreciate it, guys. So I think we get the point with nutrition, and I think we also get the point with exercise. Again, we don't necessarily talk about exercise enough probably on this channel, but again, think of exercise as something that it's not a one size fits all. Not everyone is going to be doing the same thing. Not everyone is going to be, spending as much time or have as much time as other people do when it comes to exercise. Now, there's a couple other things that I want to point out. Sleep is imperative to optimize our overall health, guys. We need to make sure that we're getting our 7 to 9, all right? 7 to 8 is nice too. 7 to 9 is often recommended. Let's just say 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. All right, if we're not doing that, we're not building the proper processes for the best possible outcomes for health. All right, we promote proper and healthy behaviors. All right, that's what's going to lead to optimal health, guys. Again, getting enough sleep is a nice preventative measure that we can take to reduce the risk of certain chronic diseases or diseases in general. People will ask me, how can we boost, what can we do to boost immune system? All right, there was a question in winter. I believe it was, who asked it? I believe it was Yannick. What's an important thing that we can do for our diet in the winter to help boost immunity? Well, we talked about the foods, but another thing we can do is make sure that we're getting enough sleep. All right, that's going to naturally boost your immune system. If we're low in sleep, that's only going to hurt the immune system, and it hurts a bunch of other things. All right, there's studies out there that are showing a lack of sleep helps with the buildup, and this help in a bad way. All right, can lead to the buildup of those amyloid plaques in the brain. And what happens if we have buildup of amyloid plaques in the brain, that puts us at risk for Alzheimer's disease, dementia, reduction in brain function. So we need to make sure we're getting proper sleep. The other thing, if we're not getting proper sleep, one, yes, weakens the immune system. One, can have effect on proper brain function. It can put us at risk for certain neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease, like dementia, right? And the other thing is it can even affect things like digestion, gut health, all right? It can affect our mood. It can make us more stressed. It can increase cortisol. Now, remember, cortisol is your stress hormone, all right? We want to keep that regulated, all right? Not keep it heightened, have heightened cortisol in our body. Sleep is imperative for optimal health, guys. So that's a huge behavior that we need to make sure that we're focused on, all right? And one that's a goal for us, all right? One that we can make as a goal to try to make sure we're getting enough sleep every single day, every single night, all right? If you have to wake up early, we have to go to bed earlier, all right? That's the name of the game, all right? A lot of the times you'll hear people say getting enough sleep starts the night before, all right? So if you're having to wake up early, we need to make sure that we're doing the proper habits the night before. Okay, so it's not the outcome is in the morning, but the process happens the night before, guys. We need to make sure that we're getting good sleep hygiene as well, so that way we're having restful sleep. I like the positive talk. At times I start to overthink that I'm not doing enough. I just started 2 weeks ago on my healing journey. Congratulations. That's awesome. After having my baby, I neglected myself for months. Yes, very, very common. I work with a lot of people who, were just pregnant, just had a baby. Some are pregnant, some just had a baby. I seem like I've worked with a little bit of everyone at this point. All right, but you're right. Of course, the baby will take priority. In those first few months, we might neglect ourselves just a little bit. But, the nice thing is there's steps that we can take where we can start to focus on ourselves. All right, give back just a little bit here. All right, give back to ourselves as well. All right. And then, like I said, it doesn't have to be a 100% jump where we just jump right into exercise, nutrition. Take that step-by-step approach, guys. Step-by-step approach. Give yourself time to be able to make those steps, all right? If we're not doing that, again, it's just putting us at risk of not being able to maintain and promote the healthy processes, all right, to create the outcomes. That's what it's all about. It's creating the healthy outcomes. If we're not doing that, we're not giving ourselves a chance to create those healthy outcomes. All right, so sleep is imperative. The other important thing is, all right, if we're not getting proper sleep, all right, we're not giving ourselves time for the body to repair and recover. That's the other important thing about sleep that often goes overlooked. All right, it's our time not only to rest, all right, but it's also our time to recover and repair. All right, so think about good sleep hygiene. All right, so that could be, a calming routine, meditation, turning your screen off, limiting light exposure before bed, maybe reading before bed and not watching TV. All right, all huge things. All right, like a lot of people, like one of the biggest things you'll hear is not watching the news before bed or anything like that. Get into good sleep hygiene, guys. Make sure we're trying to get that 7 to 8, maybe 9 hours of sleep if we need it. Okay, so sleep is imperative for optimal health. That's really a preventative measure that we can take, a protective measure that we can take, and something that we need to make sure that we're doing for optimal health. So it's not just nutrition, guys. We've talked about nutrition. We've talked about fitness, and exercise. And now we're talking about sleep. All right. Those are our pillars that we need to make sure that we're focusing on. All right. Make sure that we focus on those, because these are only going to help improve our overall health. All right. And increase. All right. Optimal health, again, can be, I like to keep it simple when I'm talking about optimal health. All right. Individuals will give you a bunch of different things that you need to work on, even a bunch of different foods that you need to make sure that you're eating, or supplementation that you need to have. Okay, because a lot of time it's a holistic approach. I like to call it a preventative approach. All right, both in and of the same thing. All right, but it's just trying to build habits that promote healthy behaviors to attain the best possible health outcomes for yourself and reduce the risk of certain diseases. All right, that's all it is. The other important thing that I want to make sure that we point out is that we need to make sure if we're over drinking or smoking, all right? So if we're drinking or smoking too much, all right, then we can have all this nutrition in there, but we're only taking steps back for optimal health. All right, I know that's tough to hear for some people, because individuals will have that glass of wine a night, or individuals who smoke. It's very, very tough, and sometimes the feel like their back is against the wall. People are judgmental against individuals who smoke. There's the stigma against it now, but it has to be said. All right, if we want optimal health, one of those unhealthy habits, because we want to promote healthy habits, all right, is over drinking and smoking. If we're doing that, we're not optimizing our overall health. Okay, so if you are going to drink, it has to be in moderation. All right, moderation is key. All right, if we're smoking, I think we have to look at, all right, we can't be a moderate smoker. All right, I think we have to cut smoking out entirely, guys, for optimal health. All right, and I know that's really, really tough, but it's just like sugar. To optimize our health, we have to cut out sugar, all right, as much as we can, bring it down to zero. Okay, even with drinking alcohol, there's certain studies that show, all right, it used to be 1 glass of red wine is actually good for you. Well, there's studies now that are showing that's not actually the case. Remember, alcohol has no nutritional value. It's empty calories, all right, and it's going to weaken your heart over time. Okay, and again, I'm not preaching or being judgmental. There's no shoulds or have tos in this conversation. It's just information for you guys to think about, information for you guys to consider. I'm not saying you have to give up alcohol, or you should give up alcohol. You guys are your own individual. The decision is yours. All right, you live your own life. But I'm just saying, if we want to optimize our health, we have to be drinking at the very least in moderation, maybe taking it to zero. I know some people in stream have done that. All right, and we need to consider quitting smoking. All right, because if not, it's almost next to impossible, guys, to have optimal health. All right, both they don't go hand in hand. All right, I don't know any smokers who are going to have optimal health. Why? Heart disease, all right, lung disease, all right, things of that nature. Okay, they just don't go hand in hand. You're absolutely right about the news. It can increase. Stay away, especially before sleep. Samini, 100% correct. I agree with you. Fear, anxiety, it can definitely increase it. Save $100 a month. Now I have less stress. Yes, Gary. Good for you guys. Take the stressors out of your life. If the news is causing you stress, which I can 100% relate to and agree with, all right, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, all right, especially with all of the divisiveness that's going on in the world right now, it can be a big stressor for us. And stress, all right, is not an optimal thing for us in life. Having cortisol increased is not optimal for healthy outcomes and reducing disease. All right, so we need to make sure that we're cutting back on stress. So you can meditate. Meditation sometimes is thrown in there for optimal health. Exercise can be just the same. Even time for yourself. Yeah, it's kind of turning to YouTube, isn't it, Toom? Yeah, 100%. YouTube has kind of taken over that a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah, stress increases cortisol. It's interesting. It's a vicious circle, isn't it? Because cortisol is your stress hormone. So stress increases cortisol, which in turn will increase more stress. All right, which will increase cortisol. All right. So we don't want those elevated levels of cortisol, guys. We want to make sure that our cortisol is under control, and definitely no bueno, not good. All right. So make sure that we're keeping cortisol under control. We have enough stress in life. Make sure that you're taking out the stressors, the things that aren't going to help optimize our overall health. But we have to have that discussion on drinking and smoking. If we're over drinking, all right, one, you're dehydrating yourself. You're not giving yourself any nutrition, all right, empty calories, all right, and it's probably going to make us less productive the next day. So we might miss a workout. We might eat. All right. We might eat unhealthy when we do drink. All right. So, there's a lot of things that we need to consider when it comes to those two things. All right. Any YouTube recommendations on how to meditate? Unfortunately, not the Zamini. I believe, though, a quick search of meditation. I'll be honest, I don't practice any meditation myself. I've tried to in the past. It's not that it doesn't work for me. I find my meditation the best when I'm on a cardio machine. All right. When I'm on a cardio machine and I just have time to myself and I can just think and I'm focusing on my breathing. As funny as that sounds, people are different. It's like not a one size fits all. Yoga can help. Yoga's a nice time for that. All right. Meditation is nice, focusing on our breathing. All right. For some reason, doing cardio, having time to myself, being in my own head, all right, focusing on my breathing and moving at the same time, not being relaxed, is actually the time to myself that I get the most benefit. But unfortunately, I don't have any recommendations on how to meditate, but I think a quick search just on meditation can really, really help with you. TM, I believe it's transcendental meditation. Transcendental, you guys probably know better than I do, is very, very popular. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, please throw it up in chat. It can be very helpful. But look at a bunch of different, don't just follow one. Look at a bunch of different videos and a bunch of different practitioners. That way you can find the best that works for you. What is cortisol again? Cortisol is a hormone, Rupal, all right? And it's your stress hormone, okay? It's going to be elevated in the morning, all right? It's going to, your stress hormone. And the thing about cortisol, all right, which we don't like, is one, creates more stress, and two, makes it harder to lose weight, and actually, all right, makes it a lot easier to put on weight, all right? So again, cortisol, your stress hormone, all right, and has a lot of negative effects on the body. Some cortisol is fine. Again, remember, we have some of a bunch of different hormones in the body, but your stress hormone, we want to make sure that we don't have it elevated. Geez, this stream is flying by. 1 hour and 45 minutes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. That's why I love these streams. They're so fun for me. You're enjoying it when you're talking on how to optimize health and going back with, a great community like you guys are. Such a great community. Thank you so much. And you're 1 hour and 45 minutes in, and it literally feels like I've been talking for 15 minutes right now. Unbelievable. Big shout out to all, like Sonia here. Big shout out to all the members of the channel, those individuals who are supporting the channel through the join function, becoming members of the Fit team. Big shout out to you guys. Remember, great perks coming to those individuals who sign up to become members of the channel. I know there's individuals who are in this chat who also have given through the super chat function. All right, you know who you are. It does not need to be said. All right, yeah, I know. I saw your comments in here. Thank you so much, guys. Those are the two ways to give back. There's no Patreon or anything like that. There's going to be products that are coming out. If you need one-on-one coaching, all right, which is also all right, available, all right, and we have some individuals who are clients of mine, which is a great pleasure, who are in chat as well. So thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure working with you so far, and I look forward to our continue working together to optimize our overall health. But if you have any questions, comments, want to get in touch on coaching and consultations, here's my email, my business email. That's the best way to get in contact with me. All right. But thank you to everyone. Remember, the best ways, I don't want to make a Patreon because I don't want to have anyone missing out on streams. So the best way, to support the channel, if you're getting great value and you're enjoying the chats and you like the 2 times a week at least, about the 5 hours a week of streams, is through the join feature, becoming a member, and through the super chat feature on the live streams here. So thank you very much to everyone for supporting the channel, and thank you everyone who has signed up as a one-on-one client of mine. And again, appreciate you. I look forward to continuing our working relationship, and thank you everyone in here. All right, thank you everyone in here for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. The gym is certainly my meditation. I don't talk. It's the same with me, Gary. I focus. I want to talk. Catch me outside. You want to talk? Catch you outside. I'm the same, Gary. I don't talk in the gym either. It's kind of like I said. It's my time. It's my meditation time. It's the time for me. Stress hormone can also raise sugar levels. Definitely has the possibility, or at least it does not help to regulate sugar levels. All right. Thank you, Rupal. Thank you. That's right. I remember now. Yep. Sometimes it's the same thing, like how you guys will help me remember things. Sometimes I will forget certain things, and then we just need that quick reminder, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I remember that. I do a lot of research that requires sitting. I use a timer, set a 20, okay, great. 20-minute intervals when it goes off. I get up and that's awesome, Fly Boy. Good for you. I think that's important. Remember, you've probably heard the saying, and it might be cliche, but sitting is the new smoking, living that sedentary lifestyle. That's why I'm saying to optimize our overall health, we want to get some of that movement in there. Standing desk is great. Yep, standing desk can definitely help. I think that's awesome, but just getting that movement in there, I think, is tremendous, guys. One other thing I want to say, right? The reason why we had to get started a little bit earlier, I just have something coming up this morning. But one thing I want to say, and I think that these streams can definitely help. I think working with a coach can help. I think that's why, I wanted to offer these services. The services too, the one-on-one coaching, it's not just me talking. It's either done through Zoom, through Skype, through Google Hangout. It's face-to-face. I just want to make sure that you guys know that, or anyone listening. All right, it's not just me talking. We actually talk face-to-face. You actually see me, all right, while we do it. And there's streams up there like that as well. I would have had my face on stream today, but unfortunately, I have something right after. But another thing that I think is imperative, especially for right now, guys, make sure that you have good social life, like friends, family that you can talk to. Mental health is extremely important when it comes to optimizing our overall health, and we're social beings. We need to make sure that we're getting social activity. All right, I know it might be tough for where you are, whether that's a Zoom call, whether that's talking with family, people who are in your bubble, depending on what the terms, if you're in, I don't know if you're in lockdown or shutdown or whatever it is. But make sure that we have people who we can talk to, all right? People who, if we are having an issue or we need to get something off our chest, make sure that we build that habit as well. We do not want to bottle things in. If you're feeling stress and anxiety, make sure you have someone that you can, someone reliable, someone that okay? Someone that you trust, all right? That you can have sort of a little friends network, all right? A community. All right, that's why I love having these chats. You guys are my community, but I think that's very, very important. We can't live alone. We have to have our support group, all right, our little support network. I think that's vital for optimizing our health. We're not made to sit alone in our house, all right, or at our desk on a day-by-day basis without having any interaction with anyone. I think that's very unhealthy. I don't think that's great for mental health. And to optimize our health, we need to make sure that we have good mental health as well. All right, so this can be a form of social. I think it now. It can also, you want to have outside, like face-to-face as well, okay? You don't just want all parasocial, all right? We need to make sure that we're having good face-to-face social, or whether it be through a Zoom call, whatever it is, make sure you have a support network for you that you can discuss with, you can talk with, you can laugh with, all right? Share things with, talk about your life. That's vital for our overall health, guys, okay? Socially distant due to COVID, love chat rooms. That's awesome, Gary. 100%. My heart goes out to those individuals who are sort of living in their apartment on their own, and they're in shutdown. They can't go to the gym. They can't go to a restaurant. Can't meet their friends for coffee. Very, very tough. Love's bothering me. Well, it's good. It's good. That means they love you, Gary. All right. So that's awesome. I hope everyone has that. I wish that for everyone, all right, because we're not made to be alone. We need to have our support network. We need to have friends, family, people who love us, people who we love as well, all right, and to be able to share things with each other. A support network that elevates us and doesn't bring us down, all right. That's why we talked about, stressors, all right. Get rid of the stressors, all right. Have the supportive people in your life. That's going to optimize your overall health as well, all right, and can help us in the process, all right, and lead us to healthy outcomes, guys. Now, unfortunately, we have to end here. Thank you so much, guys, for all of your support. I really appreciate it. Shout outs. I'm so glad that, all of you guys were able to make it this morning. I know we're on a different morning than usual. We're usually on Sundays. Unfortunately, tomorrow won't work for me, but I want to make sure that we're always getting into these chats. We're having as many live streams as possible, at least 2 a week. Big shout out to Mary, Angela, Sonia. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. The members of the channel. Appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate everyone else, obviously, in here. Member or not, appreciate having you in here so much. Flyboy, Tomb, Rupal, Kathleen, Gary, the Zamini, thank you so much. Appreciate you. If I'm missing anyone, I apologize. I can't scroll up anymore. Miki, I know you were in here. Miki, thank you so much for your support and for coming in here. Really appreciate you. Yannick, thank you so much. I remember Yannick asking great questions here at the beginning of the stream. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. If I'm forgetting anyone, I truly apologize. Sweet Cakes, I know you were in here. Sweet Cakes, Adiel family. All right, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll be back at least, I would say on Wednesday. Might be even earlier than that, guys. All right, depending on, what the schedule is looking like, and if I have a topic that I want to come on and discuss with you guys. So be on the lookout for the reminders. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you were able to get a lot out of this discussion. I know we were kind of jumping around a little bit, but remember, optimal health. All right, all right, there's certain pillars that we need: exercise, nutrition, all right, de-stressors, all right, sleep, all right, meditation, some sort of spiritual practice, all right, making sure that we have social, all right, we need social, all right, friends, family, all right, we need that support system, all right, sleep is another huge important one, all right, and if we can, cutting out alcohol and smoking. I think that's very, very important. Now I'm going to do 1,000,000 sit-ups and a 9-hour plank. Hilarious, Rupal. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gary. Happy Saturday, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I will definitely talk to you early next week. Stay safe. All right. Stay healthy. All right. Take it step by step. Don't put extra stress on yourself. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for coming into chat today. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.